time. So I would like to move to our next speaker. Our next speaker, Dr. Ruchi Ramesh, and her expertise on cultural sociology and gender studies. And Dr. Ruchi Ramesh is currently working as an associate professor of sociology in the Department of Higher Education and under the Himachal Pradesh University, Shimla. It's a beautiful place indeed, Shimla. And she is serving there since 1995. So it means she has long academic career, and she has landed with many projects funded by international organizations like German Development Bank, ADB, or World Bank, like that. And I must say, Dr. Ruchi Ramesh is the founder president of Sociological Society of Himachal Pradesh, and also involved in many other professional societies. So she will talk on customary institutions, community institutions, and local governance. So now I would like to invite Dr. Ruchi Ramesh to deliver our lectures. Dr. Ruchi Ramesh, please. Yeah. So please share your screen now.
I think, Dr. Ganguly, this is visible, screen is visible.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You're visible and audible. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Soman Ganguly, for bringing me in, for giving me this platform. Special thanks goes to Dr. Hasrat for making me part of this academic endeavor. The topic I am going to deliberate upon today is now no more untouched topic. I've been attending almost all the technical sessions and presentations, and I found that there was not even single lecture where this topic was not mentioned. Almost all the speakers have touched upon this topic, but we have we have received lots of input on the mountain ecosystem and resource management. For the last 3 days, we are attending all the sessions, and this topic is totally, this will be dedicated exclusively to the topic that is customary institution, community institution, and local governance. So I'll be discussing about this topic in detail, because no doubt that almost all the speakers have talked about in some or other way, they have touched upon this topic, but exclusively I'll be restricting myself to the customary and the community institution and local governance thereafter. Dr. Hasrat has suggested me this will be the bullet points of my presentation, and the concept of institution, or thereby the customary or community institution. I'll be touching upon the process of institutionalization, customary institution, community institution, thereafter touching upon what is local governance, or how local governance, effective local governance is there. And thereafter, I'll take some example of customary and community institution, and then thereafter we'll be discussing about the scope and relevance of these institutions. As Dr. Hasrat has suggested that you should start from the very basics, because we have delegates and scholars from all fields or different disciplines. So we should start from the basics. I'm a student of sociology, so my tone will be more or less sociological. This term institution, almost all the disciplines are using this term institution, but the term we use in sociology, that is slightly different. The concept we use in sociology, that is slightly different than the subjects, other common usage. And institution for us as a student of sociology, institution is not a building, it is not a group of people, not even an association or an organization. Then what is institution? Then this is a system of norms, or this can be regarded as system of rules and regulations to achieve goal or activities people feel important. So we can say that these are established form of procedures, or we can say these are established form of practices. Fundamentally, these include, the institution includes state of mind also. That means it also includes ideas, feelings, and their essence. Therefore, there is Sumner who explains what is institution. He has beautifully put that the institution is not only concept, it is concept as well as structure. That means it also, concept means it includes ideas, feelings, and its essence. And if we say that institution is a structure, then that means it also includes some practices. So institution, it is based on rationality to produce when institutions are there, there is some rationality or logic for these institutions. That means both the means as well ends are well approved by the society, or these institutions are approved by means and ends, both are approved. That means methods and the results, they are approved by the society. So this is all about what is institution, and in nutshell I can say that institution is a system, well designed or well structured system of rules and regulations, or strictly speaking, this is system of norms, and therefore norms or customs we can say. So we say generally in sociology, when we use this term institution, then we say that we do not belong to institution, or institutions do not have members, but institutions have followers. That means we follow the norms, we cannot be member of the institution. So this is introductory part of institution. Next important thing is that institutions are not the most important feature of institution is that institution is that it is not created, or it is not deliberately formed, but institutions are evolved. Like custom and culture, these institutions evolve with the passage of time. So for development of for the evolution of institution, there are various steps. Let me start from the very first step, that is the thought. First thing, as a human being, which occurs to us, that is thought. Prior to the overt or covert action, there is occurrence of the thought. But when thought is repeated, or there is iteration of the thought, if acting, feeling, and thinking is repeated, then it becomes a habit. When it becomes habit of an individual, then when one repeats thought, it becomes habit of an individual. But if the people who are surrounding the individual who is experiencing that habit, or who is practicing that habit, if that person is emulated by other people, then that if they found that it is this habit is good or it is useful, if that is imitated or emulated by other people in the society or around him, for example, in individual is imitated by other members of the family, then it becomes collective iteration or collective repetition. That means many people will make it as their habit. Then this is second step in the evolution. Then when collectively this habit is emulated by many people, then next step is that based on the experiences of the past, that this habit is bringing better result or there is a better outcome due to this habit, then it is experienced by many people in the society or many individual, then it takes the shape of folkways. So folkways, this is pattern of behavior which is followed by many people in the society, and these sanctioned, socially sanctioned behaviors are not very stringent. It is up to the will of the individual whether we follow this or not, but generally if we follow the folkways, then it is always accepted behavior in the society or it is considered as good in the society. Then when it becomes folkways, next is that if we feel that this is sanctioned by the society, society is approving, group is approving this behavior and it is doing something good for the people at large, then it becomes customs of the society. That means that folkways, they are changed into customs of that particular society. So customs are a bit different from folkways, as customs are followed by majority of people. They are followed by majority of people in the society, and they are group approval or social sanctions are given to the customs. Next come the when customs are followed by many people, then slowly and steadily, or we can say after generations, they become mores. Mores are very stringent in nature. Then society does not permit an individual to go away from these mores. That means these are definite structure which are obligatory or mandatory for the individuals to follow in society, and you cannot simply break these, you cannot simply deviate from adopting these modes. So if you go away, you do not follow the set pattern of behavior, that is modes, then society may call you as deviant. That means you will be deviant because you are deviating from the set structure of the society. Then the last step which is there, it is that definite structure is converted into a system, and that system is known as institution. That means we are not only talking about customary institution or community institution, but for even formal institutions, there are so many steps to convert a thought into an institution. So when we will discuss about the customary institution, certainly we will be able to trace that there are so many steps to form or structure, form and evolve an institution. So in any society, it is not possible or it is not very easy to demolish the existing institution in a day or two, in a generation or two, or in a century or two, because it takes very long to evolve an institution. So demolition or dismantling or to get away with these institutions, that also takes long time. So this is evolution of the institution, and therefore these institutions are really very important. And customary institution and formally, there are so many institution coexisting in the society. There are formal institutions, there are customary institutions, or there we can say there are informal institutions, social institution, political institution, which are existing in society. And we will be sticking to customary institutions. Coming to the topic, that is customary institution, community institution, and local governance. These are different systems, three systems which are existing in almost every society across the globe. And there are no clear-cut demarcation lines or of these three systems in the society. There is blurring of the boundaries. So customary institution, community institution, and local governance, there are many common elements which we will be discussing over next few slides. Then just to explain these three systems, I'll be bringing to the table My life experiences from Himachal Pradesh, which is one of the states in India, and that is in Western Himalayas. And because for the last few days we are discussing about the mountains, and Western Himalayas enjoy special status among the mountains. And no need to mention that in Western Himalayas, the vegetation structure and culturally, Western Himalayas are different. And the state of Himachal Pradesh it falls in the altitude range of 350 meter to 6816 meter. So the customary institution I'll be talking about today, those customary institution will be of higher ranges. I'll take in consideration the higher range, which is known as coniferous, or where conifers are there, or the area of Himachal Pradesh, which is locally known as Upper Himachal, or more strictly Shimla district. I'll be talking about those customary institution, because customs vary from region to region, from one part of Himachal to another part of Himachal. Customs are different. So I'll be talking about the customary institution or community institutions of Upper Himachal only. If we see mountain ecosystem, which is a bubble of biotic and abiotic elements, then we find that in higher ranges of Himachal, in mountains, not only in Western Himalayas, but otherwise in other mountains also. Jal, Jungle, Zameen, Jan, and Janwar. These are terms which we very frequently use in Hindi, because these are rhyming terms and it sounds very good. Uh, Otherwise, water, forest, Zameen is land, and people, and Janwar, that is animals. These are the natural resources of all mountains, specifically talking about Western Himalayas. That means if these are natural resources, people have been living with these natural resources since millennia. So they have developed their own tools, how to use these resources, how to manage these resources. They have developed their own system, and traditionally societies have co-evolved with their environment. That means they have established their system, or they have their own traditional practices to use and to manage their natural resources. But if we see last, say, 70 to 20 years, we find that natural resources are exploited ruthlessly, as a result of which we find we are experiencing, and we have seen in last many lectures, that these resources are used unsustainably, and therefore there is ecological imbalance. Even in the mountain ecosystem there is ecological imbalance, and which is resulting in climate change, which is a result of climate change. Despite the best efforts which are put in by the government and other various agencies on the board, which are working for the development or restoring the natural resources, we have found that natural resources are depleting very rapidly. In contrast, what do we see? That that there are some customary institutions in the villages of Himachal Pradesh. These customary institution, I'll take up example of only one customary institution just to explain it, that how these customary institutions are working in the for the management of natural resources. That customary institution is known as Devi or Devta institution. Now, if I translate it into English, then I can say that institution of gods and goddesses. This is customary institution which is existing in upper part of Himachal Pradesh, or we can say in conifer zones of Himachal Pradesh. Here we can say that if we see the ecosystem of upper Himachal, then we find that trees, cedrus, devadara, or oak trees, these are main trees in the region above 300 meter high of altitude, and the average life of these trees vary from 100 to 350 years. So these are very important resources. If we use these resources unsustainably, that means we will be exploiting these resources for next 300 years or so. So on the other hand, if we say that these customary institutions, they are in operation, these institutions, uh, I'll be sticking up again on one particular example, that is how forests are conserved by these customary institutions. There are some forests which are known as Devan. These are forests which are associated with the Devi and Devta. And in other parts of the world, in India, in Northeast, these forests, same concept is there. And even in other parts of the world, these are known as sacred groves. But question is that if government is failing or state is failing to preserve the natural resources, in contrast with this, how these customary institutions are helpful in preserving or conserving these natural resources. We see that in Himachal Pradesh, in upper part of Himachal Pradesh, there are few forests which are very thick. And for the last many years, for the last centuries or generations, not even single tree has been extracted, or there is no receding of the boundaries. There is no encroachment in these forests, and these forests are intact. And if we see forests of Himachal Pradesh today, we find that thickest forest in Himachal Pradesh are those forests which are associated with Devi and Devta. That means there is no interference, or anthropogenic activities are not there in these forests. Another thing which is very important to mention, that all the forests in upper Himachal, these are not, all the forests are not associated with Devi or Devta. In one area, only specific forest is associated with the Devta. That means customary practices are there in some of the forests, but generally in upper Himachal, there are forests of Cedrus Devdara, and life of Cedrus Devdara and oak. That is, these are trees which live for longer period of time, and those forests which are associated with Devi Devta, those are forests. Generally, those are forests. This is not rule, but generally these are forests which are that of Cedrus Devdara and oak. That means just to preserve the ecology of that area where that forest is associated with Devi Devta, that means traditional knowledge is in play, because in particular area, if one large area is preserved or there is forest, then we can easily imagine that ecology of that area can be preserved, or water resources or other, because these forests are very thick. There is no extraction, no exploitation, no receding of the boundaries. That means these forests are also hotspots of biodiversity. But another thing which is, because these forests are ruled by, these forests are associate rights of these forests are with Devi and Devta. In few forests, the rights are with the government, but these forests are totally managed by the community or community institution, and management is with the people, but there are different rules in different areas. There are few forests where people can use some of the forest products from these forests, like they can use twigs, they can take grass and leaves for fodder from these forest, but they cannot cut the tree. They cannot extract trees from these forests. So they can use other products which are not harming the overall cover of this area. But in other cases, there are forests where people can enter, they can go in these forests, they can even hunting is not allowed in these forests, and strictly even they cannot use other forest products, like they cannot use wood for fuel, they cannot bring grass or fodder for their livestock from these forests. Depending upon the area within Himachal Pradesh, in upper Himachal or Shimla specifically, there are various different customary laws are there in different areas or in different forests. So as far as these forests are concerned, there is no policing, there is no formal control. That means these forests are totally governed by customary laws, and unwritten constitution is there, which is governing these forests. And these rules are these customary laws, these are the customs are passing on from one generation to another. I was there in the field last year for a few days, and that was ethnographic study. And I was talking to a local resident. He said that we have seen, our ancestors have seen forests like this, and we have also preserved forest. There is no change as far as the customs are concerned. It is how these forests are managed by the customs. And certainly if we can see stark difference between how people can manage or customary institution can manage natural resources like forest, and then certainly this is example that if we associate people, or if we preserve the customs or traditional knowledge of people, we can certainly save natural resources. Coming to next part, that is these are the slides of Devta. This is palanquin of Devta, and we can, in one of the photograph, we can see this is very thick forest, and this is again Devan or sacred grove. And in the third picture, where we can see that Devta is moving in palanquin. Here Devta is moving in its territory. So this is all about the traditional knowledge and what is the role of people in how these natural resources are preserved. Coming to next part, that is how local governance is effective through community institutions, or local governance is effective. I'm coming to the same institution again. Devta institution is not something which is religious in nature only, or it is not institution which is taking care of the forest, or it is not something which is associated only to the conservation of the forest. But Devta institution, this is socio-cultural institution also. That means the society or community is also governed by Devta. Devta is with all the elements of a state. Devta is a sovereign ruler of the society, in particular talking about Upper Himachal. Devta is with sovereignty. The power of Devta, that sovereignty or authority of Devta, that comes from the tradition or the custom of that community. And Devta is also specifically power is there, but otherwise other state features are also there with Devta. For example, Devta rules some territory or territory. Some territory is also specific territory is also associated with Devta, and specific population. If a person is living in his territory and that person moves to some other territory, but still that person will be enjoying the citizenry, or that person will be citizen of that territory, or he will be ruled by the customs and tradition of devta. So these all the four elements: sovereignty, population, territory, and citizenship, these are all vested with the this institution. Now, next thing which I want to emphasize upon is that how effective is local governance. It is not that in this part of the world that formal institutions are not existing. All formal institutions like court of law, they are existing. But now the question is that how both the system, that is locally known as Devraj, or rule of Devta, or rule of god and goddesses, and rule of formal institution, how they are coexisting, and which one is more powerful. So the first, in this slide, the first picture where people are standing in the field, that is orchard. There must be some dispute related to land. Devta is there in its palanquin. Devta is visiting that site, and Devta is considered as decision maker or powerful decision maker. Formal and informal or customary or community institutions are coexisting, but how people are perceiving these two different institutions differently, I'll explain to it with the help of an example. People believe that court of law is
ma'am, sorry, you have only 1 or 2 minutes to finish it.
Pardon?
Okay, one or 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Okay,
within
okay.
2 minutes.
Then local governance. Then people believe that the court of law is there to give judgment. It is not necessary that court of law can deliver justice, but people have believed that devta institution always gives the justice. That means they have more faith on these customary institution rather than on court of law. So these are powerful tools which people are using, and people have faith in these institutions. So if other formal institutions are existing, then that means that these institutions are more important, and people rely on these institutions better than any other formal institution. So I'll give slight description of what is relevance. Can we go ahead with all these institutions even in modern society, when society is changing, world is changing so rapidly? Can we confine ourselves to these institutions? That will be scope and relevance of these institutions. That means what are the strengths of these institutions? First is that these pattern of behavior or practices are of these institutions are well knit in the social fabric. These are highly sensitive. These institutions are highly sensitive to changing relationships of people and their resources. Second strength of this institution is that customary and community institutions are based on rich experiences and folk knowledge of local people. So these are time-tested tools for natural resources. Third, relevance, how we can make use of these resources, because today we are living in the world of the world of where globalization is taking place, and globalization tend to bring homogeneous and uniform system in place. But management of these systems are more effective, better, because local people identify themselves with these institutions easily. Another scope or relevance of these institutions is that today we cannot totally rely on these institutions, but certainly we can use these institutions as model for policy making and programs. These institutions, we can take the ingredients of these institutions, and we can certainly use those ingredients for making policies and programs for the management of the resources. I'll end up by saying that there is one quote, and this is by Edward Carey, and he says, He has written long back in 1927 his seminal work, What is an Institution? In there, this is most quoted statement. He says that right and rights are social concepts. That means what is right in particular society, that is decided by people, and what are their rights and where they will exercise these rights, they are also decided by the people of society. So it is society which is more powerful than anything else. In the on the same page is Sumner, who says that society can make anything right in that society. Thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Ganguly, for allowing me to take extra 1 or 2 minutes. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. As